Soul Nebula. Mission: Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, WISE. Instrument: WISE Telescope. This WISE mosaic is of the Soul Nebula, aka the Embryo Nebula, IC 1848, or W5. It is an open cluster of stars surrounded by a cloud of dust and gas over 150 light-years across and located about 6,500 light-years from Earth in the constellation Cassiopeia, near the Heart Nebula. The cluster of stars, IC 1848, formed about a million years ago from the material of the nebula. Winds and ultraviolet light from these young stars are excavating a cavity in the cloud. Parts of the cloud that are more dense than their surroundings are being eroded more slowly and form giant towers, or pillars of dust and gas, which all point toward the central star cluster. It's reminiscent of the landscape of Badlands National Park in South Dakota. Material at the interior edges of the cavity is also being compressed by the winds and radiation from the star cluster. This triggers new star formation in those areas. The pillars inside the Soul Nebula are each about 10 light-years tall and have stars forming at their tips. All 4 infrared detectors aboard WISE were used to make this image. Color is representational. Blue and cyan represent infrared light at wavelengths of 3.4 and 4.6 microns, which is primarily light from stars. Green and red represent light at 12 and 22 microns, which is primarily emission from warm dust. A note about astronomical names. Many objects in the sky have common names that astronomers will use to reference them. However, many more objects in the sky do not have common names and only their entry name in an astronomical catalog is used. One of the most prominent astronomical catalogs is the New General Catalog, NGC, of nebulae and clusters of stars. It was published in the 1880s. So an object with a name like NGC 7380 means that it is the 7380th entry in the NGC. 2 additional catalogs were published as addendums to the NGC called the Index Catalogs. IC, between 1896 and 1905. The designation of IC 1848 for the Soul Nebula means that it is the 1848th entry in the index catalogs of the NGC. There are many catalogs of astronomical objects, each with their own purpose, and objects can be listed in more than one catalog. For example, Dutch astronomer Gert Westerhout made a catalog of radio sources in the sky. Entry number 5 in the catalog, W5, corresponds to IC 1848, i.e., the Soul Nebula, sometimes called the Embryo Nebula. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Pasadena, Calif., manages the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer for NASA's Science Mission Directorate, Washington. The mission's principal investigator, Edward Wright, is at UCLA. The mission was competitively selected under NASA's Explorers program managed by the Goddard Space Flight Center, Greenbelt, MD. The science instrument was built by the Space Dynamics Laboratory, Logan, Utah, and the spacecraft was built by Ball Aerospace and Technologies Corp., Boulder, Colo. Science operations and data processing take place at the Infrared Processing and Analysis Center at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena. Caltech manages JPL for NASA.